Now this video, before I even say anything, this is for great love for your children's children and every other living thing on this planet. This video is directed towards Rick Simpson as well as Todd McCormick or any other activists out there. Prince of Pot, King of Cannabis. Now I know this has been very interesting because I know no one wants to destroy a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry. But when it comes to your children's children, I have issues with that. I'm going to try to do it in the most loving manner as possible. But Rick Simpson, when you tell people to take your cannabis oil and go lay down, I want to inform you with great love, and I know there are things in this world that are going to pull you not to even look. Not to even look at a military microwave weapons expert that's willing to work for free, 100% free, got tons of degrees, and is willing to work for you, even go to legal stuff with you. But when it comes to ringing in the ears, I hope I have your attention, Rick. You talk about ringing in your ear. This man can tell you other reasons why that is happening. Now, I know there's a lot of pressure in my speech because all I hear is kids being bombarded by EMF waves from grow rooms or from dispensaries. Like Medical Man, I'm not picking on you, Medical Man, just so you know. It's only because things have hit my ear during your grow show on 420 Science Club. You put metal sheeting up that you did not need to do. It was just something you added in. You need to talk to Barrie because you're trapping in microwaves inside that grow room. These people have degrees. They're there. Dirty electricity. Now, does this not seem like a setup? Have you fight for something that's medicine, something that you want, and you're going to go out and buy a bunch of equipment, especially Mylar. Mylar reflects not only light, but also EMF waves. You can trap it. You can make it into a microwave box. Now, how long do you spend in your grow room? Now, this is just not on the grow room. This is upon the thousands upon thousands of lights at a dispensary. And then go look at that smart meter. That smart meter is known to pulsate known military microwave frequencies. Now, here's the catch. It will not go for tall people. It will go for the shorter people that are closer to the frequency. That's children. Barrie Trowe will inform you on how this eradicates young female ovaries, not only for her generation, but for future generations. And then also, the radio frequency ID tags that you put on marijuana is made by MIT, and that's the software company. It was employed by DARPA, a military microwave company. If you type in MIT controls DNA or manipulates DNA with radio frequency, now the question remains, are they manipulating the DNA of the workers there or the plant? I would say the plant, just based on the documentary Should I Smoke Dope? When that girl gets a blast of just straight THC into her veins, she has a panic attack. Now, those are just words. I'm looking at the reaction. They are looking for the reaction. 3 states: flight, fright, and stare. Now the question remains with Robert Nichols, the man that did work on LSD. He described on the new chemical whatever scientist whatever coming out making synthetic THC. And we all heard of the stories with synthetic THC. But there are variables that no one ever includes, like EMF waves, scalar waves. Barrie Trowe can inform you that you can pulsate microwaves at someone that has the same effect as drugs. So, where's your endocannabinoid system? The brain is electrochemical. These things have an effect. Just look at Charlotte's story. She hit a vaporizer at Mark Emery's place. Electronical vaporizer. Get the EMF level of that particular vaporizer just to see. And then do a body voltage on it. These are things that you can see and you can't deny. Simple as that. And then when you go growing your plants outside, listen to Barrie, because there are so many elements. Make sure you test for ground current. Now here we're gonna just take a listen at Barrie Trowe. And Rick, I hope you're hearing this, because you talk about ringing in your ear, and this will definitely open your eyes for the kids, not for the cash. The reason why I'm making these videos, because I don't have the pull. I don't have thousands upon thousands of dollars to go out and protest. And when you protest, make sure you bring an EMF detector with you. And then also make sure you film the sky. All right, check this out.
I told you last week with a question that you said would take rather long to answer, and that was
tinnitus. I remember.
When we
buzzing in the ears.
Yes, waking up in the morning, it's almost as soon as you start to come out of sleep, that high-pitched buzz almost goes all the way down, and all the noises in your room, or in the bedroom, a fan running, the noises outside, they start to come back into hearing. What causes that, so that it's all blocked out?
Yeah, you did ask me on the telephone, and I did say it's a fairly lengthy answer, but there are several different answers to this. The first I've explained is that the sensory cells, as I said, can leak. Because they leak naturally, and if you have excess calcium in the body, microwaves can make the calcium leave the surface of cells and flow around. You can also produce extra calcium if the parathyroid gland is stimulated. So with the excess calcium, you can then get this hearing sensation. That is one. Another is it could be coming from your bed springs. If you have metal bed springs, they act as aerials. And if the microwaves are going through your bed, as they will do, you may have a form of resonance or sound coming from the bed springs. That is another. The most likely answer is if you have water or gas pipes in your house, the microwaves going through the house can vibrate the gas, especially if it's stationary, like overnight. The microwaves can vibrate the gas, and it's like blowing over the top of a milk bottle when it's empty, and you get this. The microwaves could be causing resonance in the gas pipes or the water pipes or any other hollow container. So it could be sensory, it could be the bed springs, it could be the gas pipes, it could be the water pipes.
So when people say they hear things in the walls, or that's probably the pipes from the microwave frequencies hitting the pipes?
It could be, yeah. It could well be. It could also be that if you are being targeted It's called synthetic telepathy. Um, not only can they make sounds in your ears, they can actually put spoken word into your ears and you can hear proper voices. Now, that was a long time ago. These days, they can put a pulse signal into your brain. They can produce chemicals. One of the chemicals they like to produce is, and I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but it's when you fall in love as a teenager for the first time, and you have this overwhelming trust for the person you're in love with. They produce that chemical, and they can produce that chemical at the same time you're getting this sound. Now, so you trust the voice.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Now the voice, depending on what they know about you, I mean, and if they've listened to your telephone calls for years, they will know who you trust and what you believe in. Now, for instance, if you're highly religious, it could be an angel talking to you. It could be God. It could be a spiritual being giving you advice and helping you. And that could come at the same time you have this chemical. So, so you will learn to trust this voice.
Now, does that seem like a really big trick? You know, get everybody all wanting their medicine and then bombarding them with microwaves and smart meters. With a smart meter and smart equipment, they will know what you have, exactly what you have. Now, this is a lot, but fasting does help. Now, the question remains, is anybody going to have them come on their show? I mean, you could call up Barrie and have them on Hash Church or Pot TV or any of the other programs I've listened to. Canada Cannabis or Kids for Cannabis, or the guy who did the thing on TED Talk about Charlotte. I mean, these things just they're there, and you can test them. I mean, you can't just put them off. I mean, you could put them off if you wanted to sell some stuff, but I mean, really, does it make you feel all warm and gooey inside to know that you're going to sell something that's going to manipulate someone's body? I mean, no different than a cell phone. So, this right here, kind of redundant, but I'm hoping I'm getting through to you. Let's take a marijuana conference, for instance, or anything with a large group of people with a cell phone. At a half a watt a meter, you can do the numbers yourself. This is not good. Not for anyone sitting in that room. Not to mention schools. Now, when you imply Wi-Fi with the brain, we really need to look at, and I've done a little bit, but if anybody's got any time, do the correlation between when schools got Wi-Fi and when school shootings happen. Because when you have all these chemical reactions, and then you're going to place a child, developing brain, electrical chemical being, inside a microwave environment, just weird things happen. Like the shooting that happened in the theater. Half a watt a meter, lots of people with their cell phones. Now, is there any validity to this? Well, you can go way back to ancient Egypt, where they used to place a small hole in a wheel and spin it at people and let them hit their eyes. And this would induce epileptic seizures, pleasure, all different types of things. Alan Watt or Alan Watts, one of the two. But how about something new? How about the Lida machine? You're gonna have to do some digging for that one. But the Lida machine was a microwave apparatus that was used on schizophrenic patients that pulsated microwaves. And then when you actually look at the story of microwaves, yeah, it just don't seem too good. Microwaves were developed when military people would put their coffee next to the equipment and it would warm up. And they thought, well, hey, maybe we could use this. So, CFL, grow lights. See, the cremation of care, that thing they have at Bohemian Groves, I think I'm going to get a backlash of that, because if you don't feel anything or sense anything, you're not really going to give it any thought. But when you plug in an EMF detector or a body voltage, it kind of makes you wonder. Now, if you want to get more in depth on the whole current running through you, Dr. Herta Clark was cleansing parasites with a 9-volt battery. Now, there was also another man at 3 point, I can't remember what it is now. It's like 3 millivolts to stimulate the brain. And then you have Nikola Tesla. He also stated between 6 and 8 hertz you can control the human emotions of a person. Microwaves react with water, 70% water. And I have to throw in my little thing about the 116,000 man-made chemicals, 51 known by the EPA, unregulated by the United States, who get sick from water. Do not put that in your edibles. Have them remove it. Tell them to remove it. You're going to put that many chemicals, pathogens, all these things inside cannabis. Makes no sense, does it? And you wonder why people have problems with edibles. Could it be the 116,000 man-made chemicals? Am I getting through to you? Because no one said anything. No one's boycotted edibles. And I've made numerous videos. But that just goes to show you, when you have 116,000 chemicals rolling around and microwaves blasting at you, you block off all that stuff. And you have to. I understand that. You have to. Because you eat. You eat and you do not fast. You have to block me out. You have to. Because I will scare the crap in you. I will scare the crap in you. Because your soul is picking it up. But the chemicals are, oh, I gotta get away, it's scary. No, this is not scary. It's just your temple is not set to take this all in. I mean, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to become famous. I'm doing this because I know children are being hurt and people are making money off of it. I mean, even the 116,000 man-made chemicals, let this soak in. Your children grow in that water. And no one, well, that's just the way it is. No, it's not. Now, when people come up to me and say, well, if you drink that, you're going to deploy minerals out of your body. No, you don't know that. You don't. You heard that from someone. You don't know that. Now, close your eyes. Think of no pollution. What kind of water does everyone get? Distilled. No planes, no cars, no nothing. Because anything in the sky, 9 days, it returns to the hydrological water cycle. So when someone tells you that it's organic, don't believe that. And you can't attack them. Because there's so much tainted love here that hopefully I can get through to either Todd or Rick. I'm hoping. I'm so hoping. Because Todd, your story with the police, go with Barrie and Tetra. those officers are being bombarded by microwaves as well, as service people as well. Now, on to CFLs.
They fabricated this thing.
Pot TV, Prince of Pot, King of Cannabis, Cheech and Chong, your mom, whoever. If you got a grow show, get this guy on. Because then that way, more people will know that you're actually about healing and not about making money. Oh, we could do it one better. Any growers out there with children that recently got cancer, or got sick, or anything, why don't you post that down below? We can do a little research of our own. Because I know there's a lot of growers on YouTube that have been doing it for a very long time. Look at their face. If you get a chance, check out William Davis' Wheat Belly. It implies two things with the brain: rapid thought and appetite stimulation. They removed it from the patients of schizophrenic patients and they got better. It also has an effect on so-called ADHD. It is in Twizzlers. I bet you can't eat one, because I bet you can't just eat one because there's a chemical reaction in there to make you want more. On with the lights.
This is housing right here. See what it does to that. And I showed you how a filter can knock it down. Incandescent lights don't do anything, of course. It doesn't change. Here's a dimmer switch. Look at it, we evolved on this planet without any of this stuff. The only fields on the planet were the Earth's field. It's a big metal core that drives a magnet north and south. It's a static DC field. There's lightning, static electricity, frictional electricity. It makes when you're a comb through your hair, you can pick up little bits of lint. But until this AC revolution came along in the 1800s, there was no such thing as alternating current. And I think that what's happened, every process in our body runs electrically. Your brain, your EEG, your heart, EKG, your muscles, EMG, electromyogram. You can measure the currents from these organs. Your
Endocannabinoid system.
intestines, peristalsis works electricity. Your cells communicate electrically. So we are an electrochemical being. We're electrochemical soup. So why would it be strange that exogenous fields and currents mess up your body, make you sick, give you cancer? The Russians knew this 40 years ago. They described microwave illness. People who worked around substations and microwaves, insomnia, loss of libido, brain fog, trouble concentrating, depression, etc., etc. So I think it's perfectly logical that we're electrochemical animals, and this stuff just drives us nuts. I did a study many, many years ago, and men who work in aluminum reduction process, they work in very, very strong fields, and they had a high rate of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. What we showed was that their immune systems were really bizarrely different than normal. And so the way I interpret it is that your body picks up the fields, tries to mount an immune response to it, and finally that response fatigues. And when it fatigues, then that's when cancers happen, because you're making cancer cells all the time. Your body gets rid of them. And if you mess up with the body's defenses, and we sure do that by getting into fields, that's one of the reasons I think that the cancers happen. That's my theory.
there's the site. You have him on your show, or get an EMF detector, even though kind of redundant, but you can get one on your phone and post down the numbers below. Now, there are plenty of companies out there. EMF for Less is one of them. I don't make any money from any of them. If you have a dispensary, can you get some coveralls, some Wi-Fi shielding coveralls for your employees? I mean, it's at least a start. And children that have to go to school, I think you guys should really group up and start testing your school, and then tell them that you're not going to go there if you're going to be bombarded by Wi-Fi. It just seems like child endangerment, seeing that you are a developing child. Your brain is still developing. And then to encompass in Green Bay, your child daycare center still has a smart meter right where the children play. I mean, you looked at me like I was completely nuts when I tell you, hey, why don't you go check out Barrie Trowe, a military microwave weapons expert, as well as SmartMeters.com, SmartMurder.com. I didn't make up the name for it, but you know, these things are there. There are pieces of equipment that cost several $100s that I can't afford, but they're already on YouTube. They're there. I don't need to make another one. But it would be nice to have so I can lend it out to a school or church, wherever, fire station. These fields are playing with us, and this video will show that, because you're going to see on how many people actually respond to it. These things are hurting your child, and then we're going to see the reaction on what we get from that. I mean, this isn't make-believe. This is something you can buy, test, and read, and reduce, It just doesn't it seem like a really big setup? I mean, anybody. I mean, this would be a great way to get rid of a lot of people real quick. Look at the cannabis culture, how much it's blowing up. You got edibles where people are using tap water, and they're wrapped up in a Mylar wrapper. Most of them are. Now, Barrie talks about how you can beam a pulsed or unpulsed microwave beam at something and reactivate pathogens, parasites, you name it. Now, this isn't make-believe either. Grave diggers know this. When they would dig up old graves, when light hits it, it can regenerate whatever's in there, bubonic plague or whatever. Barrie goes through that. And this is big, because I mean, I made other videos too, because when you think about your produce at the store, you know, those little sprayer heads on there, what are they spraying your fruits and vegetables with? And I have to mention, if they're picked early, 7 to 10 days early, they lack enzymes, and they sit in your stomach and rot, and it has to take enzymes from the body to digest it. But spraying, I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, how hard is it for, say, you got some spinach or lettuce there, it gets sprayed in the store, then, you know, several people walk across it, walk past or whatever. Whoever's monitoring the phone, whether they are or not, pulsating these microwave frequencies, hits the water, hits one of the pathogens, parasites, and reactivates it. Who knows? But Barrie explains that this is possible. I mean, grave diggers. Happens there, light, microwaves, same thing. And this is stuff that we can test. But I mean, it just seems like a perfect plan, because you could trigger that at a store. I mean, people with cell phones all over the place. You could trigger that at a store, infect lettuce or whatever is being sprayed with water, say. Infect it, and then say, oh, it was the grower. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Barrie Trowe, and you outdoor growers you're gonna get a kick out of this. Barrie talks about on how they can manipulate plants in certain areas. Yeah, this this seems like a really big setup. It just does. I mean, for one, you got Rick Simpson with the cannabis oil, and make sure you get real tired and go to sleep on a wired spring mattress. And then you got, I believe it's called the Neurophone. Patrick Flanagan is the inventor of it. So you got that. Plus you got someone in a different altered state, or whatever state they put them in, because when you smoke, setting is everything. I mean, if two people got some weed and they're like, hey, I'm gonna go get fucked up, that's your setting. Another one says, hey, I'm gonna go connect to my spiritual being. Totally two different worlds. And on the endocannabinoid system, see, these are words to me, and I have a problem with that. That's why you'll see me like linger off in space before I say something, because I want to say it the best way I possibly can. But when you say stuff like endocannabinoid system, it's a word, but you made a statement on how it works, and the biggest one is it sends electrical signals. That's how our body supposedly works. So if you look at the research that was done on the endocannabinoid system, or any scientist's experiment, even conditioning, even Skinner's conditioning with the, I think it was a pigeon and whatever else, and then also the cannabis research that's being done. And all research, whether it be pills or whatever kind of research, the research that they're doing is missing huge variables. One, they are doing a scientific experiment on an ungrounded human being or spiritual being. That makes a big difference. Then you're going to give someone some medicine, and then you're going to write down the results in that field, not the field that they live in, because your brain is electrical chemical. So if you're going to give someone some medicine and then send them out in an electromagnetic field, and our brains are electrical chemical, you do not know what the repercussions of that is, do you? And then when it comes to doctors should know about the electrical system in the body, and they never ask you. I wonder why that is. Never ask you on the biggest thing that controls your whole function of your body. Gonna totally not even look at that. When you walk through a hospital, I don't know if it's in anywhere else, but look for the repeaters in the ceiling. There's antennas that come down. Really, does Wi-Fi really need to be in a hospital? Fun stuff. Well, there it all is. So grow your cannabis and hurt your children with the devices that are used. E-nail. Electronical vaporizers. Those should be tested for EMF. 3.3 millivolts to change the thought pattern of someone's thoughts. Seems like a well thought out plan somewhat. Well, let's think about this. You got cannabis, you got genetically modified food, you got tap water being used for edibles. It just It just seems like it's a well-fit way to play with people. So, if you are a dispensary, or if you go to a dispensary, can you ask them to tell them, I don't want any more of your edibles that use tap water? Just a small little thing. Not to mention, well, actually to mention, restaurants. You could use distilled water in your coffee, in the child's pancake that you make. You know, kind of lessen the load by 116,000 man-made chemicals, unknown what they do, interacting with each other. It seems like a loving thing to do. And you're not going to leach out minerals from your body. Close your eyes, no cars, no companies, no pollution in the sky. What kind of water does everybody get? Bingo, distilled water. Microwaves react with water. You are 70 plus water. Harp. Barrie Trower. Outdoor growing. Ground current. Ground current made cattle sick. Wonder what that will do to a plant. Smart meter. Dispensaries. EMF level. These will go through and go towards the smaller person, which is a child. If you live near a marijuana dispensary, get an EMF level, because these things communicate not just with the receptacles up above, but with other meters as well. And anything in its path, it will go for a small child or a small person. Whatever's in that bandwidth, it will go for that. And according to Barrie Trowe, this destroys female ovaries. Well, that's my little thing. You might see a little bit more of me. Yeah. So, growers, dispensaries, marijuana activists, want to do a little shout out for Sam and for Barrie Trowe, as well as Magda Havas. She's in Canada. Well, she has a lot of things on diabetes, as well as multiple sclerosis, and as well as information on deck phones and shielding equipment. Well, this is a long video, but there it all is. So, Rick Simpson, explain to people that you don't want them laying on a wired spring mattress or box spring. Take some effort. Do some research. Even if you don't want to, even though you're being pulled not to even listen to it, just do it. Do it anyways. Because that's what they want. They want you to be pulled away to not look at this. It seems like, well, go stick some metal in a microwave and turn it on once. Not to mention that strawberries are sprayed with copper as a insecticide. Microwaves react with copper. Look at Cantana ones. Well, I keep going, but I'm done. More later, maybe.